Hey there! Today we're going to be talking about this pen, which was sent to me by Monteverde. It is part of their Trees of the World series, which is the famous Christmas hymn, Trees of the World. That's what this is based on. And this one is the Dragon Tree, which is very interesting. And because it's a Dragon Tree, you can see there is some wood here, and that's walnut. So I'm going to talk about the parts of the pen. I will do a writing sample and I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the trees of the world. Here we have this dragon tree. Now, from what I understand with this dragon tree, it is the dragon blood tree is, I'm reading this from what I found on the Monteverde website. The dragon blood tree is native to the Socotra archipelago, and it kind of has the shape of an umbrella, which is what you see here, because I'm assuming these are those dragon trees. And it has a dark red adhesive skin, which also sounded very ominous, hence the red for, you know, dragon blood. A pretty cute box that accidentally I ripped apart because I thought you open it on this side, but it turned out to be open on the other end. Thank you for that, PhD. So much well invested time. We have this box though. Here you get the Trees of the World card explaining more about the specific tree. Parts of the proceeds for selling these trees is actually donated to organizations that work with endangered forests. We have a card, we have fountain pen filling instructions, we have these cute black and blue cartridges, and then of course we have the actual pen, and that's what you're here for. So let me not waste any more of your precious time. Here we go with the pen. I'll try to zoom in a bit and I'll try to keep everything in view. Here's the pen next to a Pilot Metropolitan, so as you can see, this is a bigger pen. It is a bigger pen, and it's just that, it's a bigger pen. Okay, now this has a number 6 Jowo nib. You can get them in all the things you want: extra fine, fine, medium, broad, 1.1 stub. These pens cost $115, and that's pretty much it. What I found really cool is you get a lifetime warranty, which is nice. It's also nice that they donate parts of the proceeds to endangered forests and such. Okay, parts of the pen. We have the finial on top. It is a kind of a flat top pen, so it will stand upright. We have the nice clip, nice shape. It's very usable, nice and springy, which I liked. Then we have this walnut ring, which is an interesting touch I'll come back to. And we have the barrel tapers down. Monteverde, USA, Trees of the World. I'm pretty sure I used the Grand Sequoia, the Sequoia at some point, and I have the very strong feeling that was the exact same model, just a different finish, and that did not have a wood ring in it. Okay, pen uncaps with about 1 3/4 turns. Then we have the section. The section tapers down a little bit, and then is it fairly straight? I think it actually flares out a little bit. It's a little hard to see with the pattern of the colors on it. Number 6 Jowo nib with the Monteverde logo. It says Monteverde USA in Monteverde, and I've always liked that MV line that runs across the breather hole. It's a larger pen, so it's certainly comfortable for those with bigger hands. When you post it, it's really nice and big. However, I do find the section pretty small, which you might be able to see better here than in my likes and dislikes part, because the camera is pointed right down at it. Having said that, it's an interesting pen, and we should see how it writes, which is what we shall do right now. I have zoomed out enough, I think, so let's do it. Because it's all plastic, even posted doesn't get super top heavy. Okay. Monteverde, I'm just going to call it Dragon Tree and not Trees of the World, because it's a lot. It's a broad nib, and this is Monteverde, an ink supplied by Monteverde to me as well. Chameleon, and I thought that was kind of a nice ink, because it starts off purplish, but then it kind of changes color a bit. So Chameleon. Okay. smooth writer. And I really like the way it writes. It's smooth. It's certainly a rigid nib, but you can get an OmniFlex nib if you really need line variation. But it's a very solid writer. It just keeps going and going and going, and I really love that. Fairly wet, which I enjoyed a lot. As to line variation, again, you should really get the OmniFlex if you want line variation, but it is a steel nib, and with some care and at your own risk, you can squeeze out a bit of line variation. For those of you who enjoy such a thing, and I know some of my mathematician friends do, reverse writing is a possibility, but as you can see, it gets so dry, I'm not sure how well you can really see the writing. Okay, a nice bigger pen, relatively affordable. The word is always relative, but I mean $115 is not that bad as fountain pens go. I think we need to discuss likes and dislikes. Let's do that next. Things I like and dislike about the trees of the world. We also had a mountains of the world at some point from Monteverde, by the way. It's a bigger pen, and I think that size is really quite nice. It's not an obscene, oversized pen, but it's by no means small. And I think that's a very nice size that a lot of people will find to work for them. If you're looking for something that's a bit of an oversized pen, but without having to pay an enormous amount of money, I think you could do a lot worse than this particular pen. So I think that's pretty nice. Just posting it so I can hold it a bit. I again like the size. I like the way it writes. I found it a very pleasant writer. I certainly remember from back in the day that I tried a number of Monteverde pens, and this is a number of years ago, but they all had very dry nibs. And I find it very interesting to see that in this batch of 4 fountain pens that Monteverde sent me, not one of them was dry. Almost on the contrary, they were all fairly wet writers. I hope that is a theme, because I do know that some people reached out to me with Monteverdes that were dry. So I hope this is a theme, and that problem is behind the manufacturer. So it writes very well. At the end of the day, that's what you buy a pen for, right? So I think that is really, really nice. There are 2 issues that I have. One I think is fairly objective, and the other might be a bit subjective. So I'll start with the objective one. If the pen is devoted to trees of the world and it's dragon wood, then why is this ring walnut? That seems to me like a missed opportunity, but maybe dragon wood is very hard to work with or something. I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. I'm not an arborist. I don't know. I'm definitely not a woodworker, so I just don't know. The other thing is this section I found particularly small, and for me, I love the overall size of the pen. Look at how big it is posted, even unposted. It's by no means small, but I found this with this section, my fingers start to cramp up a bit. Now, that may simply be me, right? So if anyone has this pen, please comment on what you feel about this section. But for me, that was a bit of an issue, and I really tried different things, but it kept kind of being the same. And I mean, this entire section is as big or maybe even a bit smaller than one phalanx of my finger. So it's just, for me, a bit uncomfortable. So if you are on the larger end of the hand spectrum, maybe try this pen out if you can, or don't expect to use it for longer writing sessions. But again, maybe that's entirely me. I don't know. A very kind thank you to Monteverde for sending me these pens. I really appreciate it. I hope this was useful, everyone, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.